This is the L2C Media Network on YouTube, and this is the L2C Sports Final. Steve the Baxman Baxley, presented by the L2C Media Network. Now, with the headlines and the whole story in the loaded day in sports, here's Steve. Yes, can we move that thing a bit? Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Steve the Baxman Baxley. Welcome to a spine-tingling, a long day in the world of sports. And how long? Oh, boy. I think we're going to make it to 45 minutes. I'm just not sure. But let's get it going. Let's get it started, shall we? Let's go to it. Let's go surfing. On to our top story in the realm of sports media today. Well, the National League are down 2 teams. It's not even the playoffs. That's right. You guys gave me the wrong story. Can we go to the right page, please? Right page. All right. We got the right page. And the 2020 season is not even a week old, and already Major League Baseball has a COVID-19 crisis on its hands. As many as 17 members of the Miami Marlins, including 15 players, have tested positive in recent days. The outbreak forced Monday and Tuesday's game in Miami and Philadelphia, where the Marlins played this past weekend, to be postponed. Now, in an effort to minimize disruption to the season while containing the outbreak, Major League Baseball has revised the schedule to isolate the Marlins and Phillies for a period of time. The league announced Tuesday afternoon both clubs are currently undergoing additional testing following their series at Citizens Bank Park this past weekend. Major League Baseball issued the following statement, quote, "The health and safety protocols were designed with a challenging circumstance like the one facing the Marlins in mind. The response outlined in the joint MLB and Players Association Operations Manual was triggered immediately upon learning of the cluster of positive cases, including contact tracing and the quarantining and testing of all the identified close contacts. The Marlins person who tested positive remain in isolation and are receiving care," end quote. Miami's season has been halted until Monday, August 3rd, giving the club time to regroup and adjust their roster as needed. The statement from Miami, quote, "MLB believes that it is most prudent to allow the Marlins time to focus on providing care for their players and planning their baseball operations for a resumption early next week. The Phillies will be shut down until Friday. The Yankees and Orioles are bystanders in the outbreak. The Yankees were scheduled to play 4 games with the Phils this week, 2 in Philadelphia and 2 in New York, while the Orioles were scheduled to play 4 games with the Marlins, 2 in Miami and 2 in Baltimore. The revised schedule has the Yankees and Orioles playing Wednesday and Thursday rather than sit idle. The Marlins were scheduled to play a 3-game series against the Nationals this weekend. The vast majority of Nationals players voted not to travel to Miami for safety reasons. Under the revised schedule, the Nationals will not play this weekend while the Marlins are on hiatus. Here, for sake of laying it all out, is the revised schedule, and you can see that on MLB.com. Now, to recap, all Marlins games have been postponed through Sunday, including scheduled series against Baltimore and the Nationals. Phillies-Yankees home-and-home series has been postponed. The Yankees will play the Orioles in Baltimore on Wednesday and Thursday. Now, MLB will try to make up all postponed games later in the season via doubleheaders and eliminating off days. If it's not possible, MLB is prepared to allow teams to finish the season with an unequal number of games played and determine the postseason field and winning percentage, according to Joel Sherman of the New York Post. Now, that would not be ideal, but there is precedence. Teams finish with an unequal number of games around the 1981 strike. Some teams played as many as 111 games that season, while others played as few as 103. And the standings were based on winning percentage in these adverse times. A similar strategy would be warranted this year. Now, as a result of the outbreak, the Marlins are shifting to a daily testing schedule. CEO Derek Jeter announced on Tuesday, players and personnel are currently tested every other day. Jeter's statement, quote, "We continue to take this entire situation very seriously. All of our players, coaches, and staff are, understandably, having a difficult time enduring this experience. After receiving additional test results on our Major League team this morning, we reached out to the Commissioner's office with concern for the health and safety of our team as well as our opponents. Can you forgive me for a moment? There's something that I gotta do." Okay, to continue. We have moved to a daily testing schedule while we isolate and quarantine appropriately, along with enacting additional preventative procedures with our traveling party. We look forward to safely returning to Miami, where we conducted a successful and healthy Spring 2.0 before departing on the road and experiencing challenges. For the time being, we will remain in Philadelphia and gather information in order to make informed decisions and prepare for our return to action next week. Now, COVID-19 carries up to a 14-day incubation period. With a median of 5 days, meaning if any Phillies player and personnel were exposed during the Marlins series over the weekend, it may not show up on Monday and Tuesday's test. The safest approach would be waiting another few days and retesting before allowing the club to resume play. Press release from Major League Baseball says over 6,400 tests have been conducted since last Friday, July 24th, and the Marlins are the only team with positive tests. It adds that the league has had a 0.3% positive test rate on over 32,000 tests through opening day. As for player compensation, the March agreement on prorated salaries only applies to how many games each team is able to play. However, players on the Phillies, Orioles, and Nationals will get the full 60 games, even if they are unable to play 60 as a team due to circumstances here. Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic reports there is no word on the Marlins players, though. Now, despite the outbreak, Commissioner Rob Manfred said Monday the owners have not yet seriously discussed canceling the season. The league believes it has mechanisms in place, 60-man roster, taxi squad, etc., to manage an outbreak and continue play. Now, Major League Baseball is apparently prepared to revise the schedule on the fly to make it work, and we wish them well. Speaking of baseball, we got your scores for you, the winners and losers, etc. Let's go to our scoreboard. And as usual, like we do every scoreboard, let's start first with the games that are still focused and still in play. Like, for example, the Arizona Diamondbacks lead the Texas Rangers in the bottom of the seventh, 4-0, 4-7-1 for the Diamondbacks, 0-0-1 for the Rangers. After 6 full innings, it's the Dodgers over the Astros, 5-2, 5-6-0 for the Dodgers, 2-3-1 for the Stros. In the top of the 5th inning, it is the California Angels over the Seattle Mariners, 5-1, 5-5-1 for the Angels, 1-4-1 for the Mariners. In the top of the fifth inning, the Colorado Rockies are playing host to the Oakland Athletics, and right now it's a 4-1 ball game for the Rockies, 4-0 for the Athletics, 1-4-0. And in the top of the sixth inning, the San Diego Padres lead the San Francisco Giants 5-1, 5-4-1 for the Pods, 1-3-0 for the Giants. Let's get some final scores going while we have you here. The Cleveland Indians defeated the Chicago White Sox 4-3, 4-9-1 for the Indians, 3-11-0 for the White Sox. Chevalier gets the win for the Indians. Cease did not desist, but gets the loss for the White Sox. And Hand, how you doing? Hi. Hand gets his second save. Players of this game were Anderson for the White Sox, the shortstop. He went 3 for 5, 3 runs, a homer, two doubles, and a run batted in. Savali of Cleveland, the victorious pitcher, went 6 full, gave up 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 strikeout, and no hit. Blue Jays overtake the World Series defenders, the Washington Nationals, by 4, 5-1 the final score. 5-7-0 for the Jays, 1-4-2 for the Nats. Rourke is one of the players of the game. The Toronto pitcher pitched 5 full innings. Gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, no walks. Vlad Guerrero is the Toronto DH, and okay, let's keep going. More final scores. The Tampa Bay Rays over the Atlanta Braves, 5-2, 5-7-2 for the Rays, 2-6-0 for the Braves. Winning pitcher, Fairbanks for the Rays. He goes 1-0, while Wright goes the opposite way, 0-1. Drake for the Rays gets his second save. And Drake also gets the big nod of the players of the game. Tampa Bay pitcher pitched 1 inning. No hit, no earned runs, 1 strikeout, and no walks. Meanwhile, Fairbanks, the Tampa Bay pitcher, goes also full inning, give it up 1 run, no hits, 3 strikeouts, 9 bananas. More scores. Cubs beat the Reds 8-5, 8-12-1 for the Chi-Town team. 5-6-0 for the Okay. Cubs 8-12-1, Reds 5-6-0. The winning pitcher was Mills. He was 1-0. But again, there you go. Mills goes 1-0. Reed goes 0-1. In fact, Baez and Miller are our players of the game. Baez, shortstop for the same impassive anyway. Baez for Chicago, the shortstop, went 3 for 5 with 3 runs, 2 homers, a double, and a triple. And Baez for shortstop went 3 for 5, 3 runs, 2 hits, 26. Okay. I don't know what I just said. Here we go. Pirates over the Brewers, 8-6, 8-9-1, and another 9-man jail. Okay, let's keep this going. Tigers, their bats came alive. I wish I could say the same for me. They beat the Royals in the rubber game of their match, 4-3, 4-6-3 for Tigers, 3-5-1 for the Royals. Your winning pitcher was Alexander. He's 1-0, and Zuber goes anyway. Tigers beat the Royals 4-3, 4-6-3 for the Tigers, 3-5-1 for the Royals. Alexander gets his first win as a Tiger. Zuber, his first loss, and Jimenez comes through in the clutch again. Players of the game on that one were Jimmy Jimenez of Detroit, the pitcher, pitched one full inning, gave up no hits, no errors. No thank you. All right. Jimenez for Detroit, one inning pitched. No hit, no runs, no strikeouts. Eugen. Okay, wow. Almost fell again. Mets overtake the Boston Red Sox 8-3, 8-10-1 for the Mets, 3-10-1 for the Red Sox. Peterson, your winner for the Mets, he's 1-0. Hall got a pass by the Red Sox, 0-1. Davis, New York Met left fielder, went 2 for 3, 2 homers, one big old homer for obviously the not the Kudo reason, but the other one, all right. Let's get going here. Davis, left fielder for the Mets, is one of the players of the game. He was 2 for 3, 2 runs, a homer, and 2 RBIs. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, it's Peterson for the Mets, the pitcher. Goes 5 2/3. With that going on, let's tell you that was a 7-hour game that anyone ever saw. I don't think I did. Okay, I'm going to retrieve.
Detail, and it includes everything from how the team is complying with state.
David Peterson, New York Mets pitcher, 5 2/3, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walkies. Indians over the White Sox, 5-3, 5-6-0 for the Indians, 3-8-0 for the White Sox. Plutko gets the win for the Indians. He's 1-0. Rodon gets nothing from the White Sox. And Hill gets his first save. Plutko and Hill are your players of the game for Cleveland. Plutko pitched 6 innings. The hits 5, the earned ones 2, the strikeouts 4, and the walk is 0 for Hill. Cleveland ball color or ball, yeah. Wow.
And let's just say they were looking for a little payback, especially since KC slugged a total of 6 home runs in yesterday's opener.
Plutko gets a win. He's 1-0. Rodon gets a loss. He's 0-1, and Hill is the savior. Minnesota Twins beat San Luis Cardinals 6-3, 6-7-0 for Twins, 3-7-1 for the Cardinals. Bailey, the winner for Twins, he goes 1-0. Martinez goes for an 0-1 iCarly situation. 6-7-0 Twins, 3-7-1 Cards. Bailey, the winner for the Twins, and this record is one that is going to stand.
To give the Tigers a 4-3 lead. Detroit held on from there thanks to Tyler Alexander and 4 other relievers. The Royals did not score another run.
Bailey for Minnesota, one of the players of the game.
Like we haven't had the opportunity to say
5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Roma for Minnesota, 1 inning pitch, no hit, no earned runs, 1 strikeout, and nothing more. Of course, Yankees, Phils, Orioles, Marlins have been postponed for a little while.
When you need us. We're building the biggest news outlet in the country. 5,500 journalists across the U.S. to deliver you news, not talk. Facts, not opinions. News Nation, coming September 1st to WGN America. Your news, your nation.
All righty. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going. And a little shocker in the realm of baseball, the Atlanta Braves announced that they are designating Mike Fultonwisk for assignment. In other words, the Braves will surprisingly, let's try again. The Braves have surprisingly designated right-hander Mike Fultonwisk for assignment. Manager Brian Snitzker told the media following the last 14-15 loss to the Rays on Monday, right-hander Ched Sabatka will replace Fultonwisk on the Braves' active roster. The 28-year-old Fultonwisk started that game in Tropicana Field and allowed 6 earned runs and 3 home runs in 3 1/3 innings. After that span, he struck out 3 and walked 4. The decision to designate for assignment means that the Braves will have a limited window to either trade him, likely for a minimal return, or place him on irrevocable outright waivers. In other words, his days with Atlanta will soon be at an end. Once he is DFA'd, he'll be removed from the Braves' 40-man round. All right. Okay. The decision to DFA Fultonwisk means that the Braves will have a limit. Oh, yeah, I already read that part. Likely for minimal return, place him on irrevocable outright waivers. In other words, Fultonwisk's days with Atlanta will soon be at an end. Once he is declared DFA, he'll be removed from the Braves' 40-man roster and 60-man player book. Okay. The decision highlights Fultonwisk's precipitous decline. He was originally drafted by the Astros as a 19th overall pick in 2010, and in January 2015, the Braves acquired him as part of the trade that's Evan Gattis to Houston. Coming into this final season as part of the Astros organization, Fultonwisk was regarded by most to be a top 50 overall prospect. Now, given how recently he flashed such prominent promise, there's no doubt that teams will be lining up to take a flyer on him. Working against Fultonwisk, however, are the results, and the fact that the organization that knows the most about him is poised now to cut him loose. Okay, first, Danica Patrick split from him. And now, is there a possible split coming up between Aaron Rodgers and the Packers? Aaron Rodgers has spent all 15 seasons of his NFL career with the Green Bay Packers. Team management believes he'll still be around for quite a while. Coach Matt LaFleur expects him to be the leader of this football team for a long time. But none of that has... Yeah. Fresh off a trip to the L2C Championships, 36-year-old Rodgers is technically under contract with Green Bay through 2023, but considering the impacts he played into the 40s, he was aware. Okay. He's aware the Packers will at some point bleed, not white, but okay. Sorry, folks. I'm trying desperately to keep awake. I've got a lot to do tomorrow. The parent is coming back, I hope, but we'll walk that bridge with you as soon as we can. I am sorry. Okay, let's get back to work if we can, boys. So he's aware the Packers will at some point be forced to pick between him and Love, who has taken 26 overall of Utah State in April. So here we go. Will he do it with roses or what? I have no idea. All right. Thank you. All right. Dana Stubblefield, a former defensive tackle for the San Francisco 49ers, was found guilty of raping a woman at gunpoint by a Santa Clarita County jail on Monday, CBS San Francisco. Okay, the women, according to prosecutors, in 2015, Stubenfeld lured the then 31-year-old woman who has developmental disabilities into his California home under the pretense of a babysitting job. After conducting the interview, Stubenfeld texted the woman, asking her to come right back to his house so he could pay her for her time. He then raped the woman before giving her $8 and letting go. The woman immediately reported the rape, which was also handled over the money. Okay, the women immediately reported the rape while also handing over the money given to her by Stubenfeld to the Morgan Hill Police Department. Prosecutors said DNA evidence will match from the first one. Okay. Excuse me. Rough day today. We'll get into that some other time. Right now, I think anyway, that's the NFL report for you, kids. Okay. There we go, back in basic. Okay, let's see what we can do. Yeah, sure. Anyway. Okay, let's get to our friends at Awful Announcing as we roll into our 45th minute. Well, former Deadspin staffers are set to launch Defector, a subscription site set for September debut. HBO's The Weight of Gold, a must-watch documentary showing mental health issues, Olympic athletes at 3 o'clock. And they're off and racing. And speaking of which, ESPN reportedly wants out of its XFL TV contract, while Fox wants to modify it. Remember the XFL, the football league that shut down with the rest of the sports world in March and suspended operations and laid off nearly its entire staff in April? Well, the league is now in bankruptcy court, and of relevance is the status of the XFL's TV deals with ESPN and Fox. Now, per the online news source, The Athletic, the XFL wants to attach its TV deals to the company in a potential sale to a new owner while dumping nearly all of its other assets. Now, that isn't suiting either ESPN or Fox very well, despite each network's initial commitment to the XFL earlier this year. ESPN wants out of its deal with the XFL, essentially claiming that new ownership group for the XFL will eliminate one of the primary reasons ESPN got involved with the league in the first place, noted as the specific character and quality of certain professionals involved in creating and organizing the new XFL league. In their statement, quote, ESPN entered into the telecast agreement based on the specific character and quality of certain professionals involved in creating and organizing the new XFL league and promoting and producing XFL events, end quote. This was written last month by ESPN in a bankruptcy court motion objecting to the proposed transfer of its contract in next week's auction. Quote, their services, skills, and talents are not fungible. Moreover, the telecast agreement and profit-sharing agreement reflect the compensation structure to ESPN that constitutes financial accommodation to Alpha Entertainment and the individuals connected with that organization based on the parties' relationship and ESPN's assessment of the risk involved in the compensation structure, specifically related to the relevant skills and experience of the individuals associated with Alpha Entertainment, as well as the personal commitment and the investment of Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon in the organization, all of which informed ESPN's resulting willingness to support Alpha Entertainment's efforts to launch the XFL. Without knowing the identity and business plan of the proposed successful bidder, ESPN objects and does not consent to the potential assumption and assignment of the telecast agreement, ESPN added. Now, in the filing, ESPN also noted that Vince McMahon's non-involvement in the XFL 3.0 would be a major factor in its decision to get out of the contract. Quote, the image and ultimate success of the XFL are heavily linked to the efforts, resources, and reputation of Vincent McMahon. If Vince McMahon and his team of professionals are not running the XFL enterprise, then a key consideration for a telecast agreement has disappeared, and ESPN cannot be compelled to join in a partnership with an assignee absent ESPN's express consent. The consent that ESPN chooses to broadcast is not fungible. Its character and quality is directly related to the team of professionals that is producing the content. This is especially so when dealing with content being created by an entirely new enterprise as opposed to content that is part of a well-established program and production enterprise. If Vince McMahon is not part of the enterprise, then a key consideration for the contracts has disappeared. Now, as for Fox, they're reportedly negotiating with the XFL about modifying their contract. Quote, the debtor and Fox are in cooperative discussions regarding Fox's continued possible role as a broadcast and distribution partner for the XFL. The sale process and the potential modification of the agreement in a manner that would enable its assumption and assignment to a successful bidder, Fox wrote in court papers last week. Fox wrote, Alpha agreed not to sell the contract until the two parties had reached a new deal. Now, the XFL viewership on ESPN and Fox initially started strong, but bottomed out in Week 5, its final week of play. The production levels on both networks received high praise, and fans loved the mid-game access to players. It could be argued that the commitment to high-quality telecasts from both ESPN and Fox helped the XFL succeed more in 2020 than the league would have if its games were on different networks that committed fewer resources and attention to the product. And really, if the XFL's assets are sold to an entity with far less experience in the media world than McMahon, is it really worth it for ESPN and Fox to put as much work into the XFL as they did this spring? Well, if college football shifts to the spring, it's definitely not going to be good. Okay, reminder, tonight Nick Rekieta is on, and he has something good. Lost Bleeding the Interwebs tonight, midnight Eastern, 11 Central. And Nick Rekieta, the humble Minnesota attorney and show host. Well, if it's Tuesday, it's got to be Potpourri. And it is Potpourri Day. On the broadcast, as Nick talks about a stream, it's Topical Tuesday. It's a stream about things happening. Well, that'll be fun to watch, and you can watch it right here. Well, actually, not right here, but on the Rekieta Law channel, only on YouTube. It's Topical Tuesday on Lost Bleeding the Interwebs with Nick Rekieta. Join us, won't you? Or join him, won't you? Yes, you will. We hope. Booyah. All right. More things, folks. If you're ready for this, so are we. Hi there. Mark Emmert has been the president of the NCAA since 2010, but he apparently hasn't followed the football championship division playoffs closely during his presidency. Emmert spoke to ESPN's Heather Dinich for an interview published Tuesday about the state of fall sports amid the COVID-19 pandemic, which featured him saying he's very concerned. He also spoke about the advantages he sees in conferences moving to fewer games and schools arranging longer breaks between games. But the most remarkable comments there may be Emmert's complete misstating of how the FCS playoffs currently work. Via Football Talk's Brian Fisher, we bring you that. Quote, an individual contest, a football game, a basketball game, that's quite different, he said. In the case, quote, in the case of a bowl game or CFP, you're talking about a championship game. Can you create a bubble with enough lead time to have two teams play each other safely? The answer to that may be yes. The FCS is round-robin championship with 22 teams participating in a full-on championship event. That's very different and much more challenging environment than adding one or two more games to a season with a lot of space in between. Well, his base premise of the FCS playoffs involving more teams and more games is correct, and there are unquestionably additional challenges there, as opposed to the current 4-team, 2-game format of the Football Bowl subdivision's college football playoff. But Emmert is so wrong on the particulars. The FCS playoffs expanded from 20 to 24 teams in 2013. Even more importantly, they're not round-robin at all, but single elimination with the top 8 seeds getting a first-round bye, and a single elimination tournament involves far less games than a round-robin one, where every team plays every other team, which would take forever in a football tournament of any significant size. So this is incorrect citation of the FCS format. It is not a good reason not to hold these playoffs. Of course, these playoffs may not happen anyways, and the whole FCS season may not happen. The FCS level CAA and Ivy League have already canceled fall sports, as have other conferences that don't have football or have lower level football. And while the Ivy League doesn't take part in the FCS playoffs, and the CAA has said that its schools can explore competition as an independent if they want, the future for the 2020 season doesn't seem bright for the FCS football right now, but it's still early. It's certainly quite something for the NCAA president to be widely wrong about the FCS postseason format in a high-profile interview, and it fits in with the long-standing gripes about the NCAA organization, mostly working for its most powerful members, such as the late great Jerry Tarkanian. Quote, the NCAA was so mad at Kentucky they gave Cleveland State 2 more years of probation. Line. In this case, it's more the NCAA was so desperate to make the cash cow of the CFP safe that they overstated dramatically how many playoff games the FCS really has. Knew I'd be back. Well, today it starts. That's right. The NHL is back, and it's come on major North American leagues and having a more lucrative national TV deal in Canada than in the U.S. And that's also usually comes with more national TV coverage in Canada. But more of the league's exhibition games this week will actually be televised nationally in the U.S. than in Canada, with NBCSN and NHL Network both going in hard on those, and Rogers Sportsnet only showing games involving Canadian teams. We got a look from Rob Williams of the Daily Hive. So, Sportsnet isn't broadcasting the first game today, nor are they televising 5 of 6 games on Wednesday or any of the 3 games on Thursday. Only Canadian team exhibition games being televised by the looks of it. Surprising they're not picking up the U.S. feed. Gee. Well, even you don't count NHL Network, NBCSN has 4 games across Tuesday and Wednesday to Sportsnet's 3. If you throw in NHL Network, the picture gets even better for U.S. viewers who can then view all 12 of these games. Of course, regional blackouts to apply in favor of the local regional sports network. It's remarkable to see the U.S. network providing more national coverage of hockey than Canadian ones, especially as the Rogers deal from 2014 to 2026, $5.232 billion Canadian dollars, currently $3.910 billion US or $325 million US per year, is more lucrative than the NBC one from 2011 to 2021, $2 billion US, $200 million US per year. So what's exactly is compelling Sportsnet not to show the games involving U.S. teams? Well, their website's TV listings only show their live games, but there are also a few of those. On Tuesday, regular Sportsnet, a national channel that's made up of 4 regional feeds, is showing a baseball game between Toronto and the Washington Nationals at 6 Eastern, then Edmonton, Calgary at 10:30 Eastern, while Sportsnet 1, an overflow channel similar to the Deuce, has Maple Leafs and Canadiens at 6, before 6 Eastern. SS1 had poker, while Sportsnet 360 had a replay of the 2019 game. While it makes some sense not to show part of the Pittsburgh Penguins Philadelphia Flyer game and then having to cut away for the Jays or Leafs Canadiens game, the third national channel, Sportsnet 360, formerly The Score, and an approximate equivalent to ESPNU or ESPN News these days, seems available as it's showing old replays and then the Tim and Sid talk show. Programming decisions Wednesday and Thursday are even stranger. On Wednesday, the main Sportsnet channel is showing Jays Nationals again at 6. Then the Vancouver-Winnipeg game at 10:30 Eastern, while Sportsnet 1 is showing the Colorado Rockies-Oakland Athletics game at 3:30 Eastern, simulcasting the Canucks-Jets game at 10:30, and Sportsnet 360 is showing the Padres and the Giants at 6:30 Eastern. There are no live sports at all interfering with the Tampa Bay Lightning-Florida Panthers game at noon Eastern, and Colorado and Minnesota at 2:30 Eastern. It easily could have been put on Sportsnet proper or 360, with neither having live sports during that time. Instead, Sportsnet proper showing Sportsnet Central, a replay of the previous day's Leafs-Canadian game and Blue Jays in 30. Yes, these are exhibition games. They're not the most important thing in the world, and Sportsnet isn't the only network that's passed on some exhibition action recently. And yes, games with Canadian teams are clearly more important to a Canadian network, but even with games that don't involve Canadian teams, there's absolute demand for them from Canadian hockey fans who haven't seen new NHL action since March. And it seems remarkable not to even show these games on channels that don't have live sports at that time. And further, so when you consider that Sportsnet is originating all the game feeds out of the Edmonton hub, while NBC is doing the same out of Toronto, they're producing these feeds for the U.S. networks, but not broadcasting them on their own. But beyond that, there's absolutely an argument that an NHL exhibition game between 2 U.S. teams might draw more Canadian fans than an MLB regular season game between 2 U.S. teams. Regardless of where you stand on how those numbers might wind up, though, it seems silly not to make both of these live games available instead of showing a bunch of old games and studio programming. Sportsnet has a ton of channels and a ton of rights to sports content. But in the case of these NHL exhibition games, they seem to be opting just not to show them when they only involve U.S. teams. And yes, NBCSN has it a little easier as they don't have a lot of other sports to show right now. But Sportsnet has a huge buttload of channels that they could show these U.S. games if they want to. They're just opting studio shows and replays. Fortunately for Canadian viewers, this will get better when the NHL kicks into meaningful action Saturday. All those games will be shown on Sportsnet's various channels, including the CBC, where they have a deal. So the disparity will go away at that point. NBC, NBCSN, and USA will be showing all the games in the U.S., albeit with those regional blackouts in place, and with some games possibly being joined in progress. And those will be available in full on NHL, though. But it's remarkable to see more coverage of the exhibition games available on U.S. TV than Canadian. It's a reversal of how the NHL media picture usually plays out. And let's give you a little brief scoreboard update. So here we go, little scoreboard update. Now we've already done the baseball scoreboard. Let's give you, and we've already done baseball already. Yep, we sure have. Ooh, itchy. So let's go to soccer, Italy, Series A. Atalanta over Parma 2-1. Inter over Napoli 2-0. We'll give you some scores from the world, from the club friendly. Hapoel Kfar Saba over Hapoel Ramat Gan 3-1. Ghent blanked Metz 3-0. Strasbourg bulldozed Montpellier 2-1. And Naf Hagali defeated Haf Ako 2-0. Let's get you over to the basketball preseason. Miami Heat over the Memphis Grizzlies over the Miami Heat 128-110. Phoenix Suns over the Toronto Raptors 117-106. Indiana Pacers 110-118. Goal over San Antonio beat Indiana. Oklahoma City Thunder beat Portland Trailblazers 131-120. Houston Rockets down the Boston Celtics 137-112. Philadelphia defeated the Dallas Mavericks, Dallas defeated Philadelphia 118-115. Do we have any further? Oh. Okay, here's the preseason of NHL, and after overtime, the Flyers defeated the Penguins 3-2. Toronto over Montreal 4-2. And we will right. So let's get you a little update on basketball. Wow, what a game between the Chiba Japan, the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Chiba Lotte Marins just burned the Rakuten Golden Eagles 13-12, 13-15-1 for the Marins, 12-16-0 for the Golden Eagles. Masuda for Chiba Lotte is your winner. He's 1-2, and Sharga for the Golden Eagles, he's 0-2. Fukuoka Silverhawks over the Seibu Lions 9-4, 9-14-0 for Silverhawks, 4-5-0 by Senga over Hirare. There we go. Let's keep going here. Let's see. Fukuoka Silverhawks defeated the Seibu Lions 9-4, 9-14-0 for the Hawks, 4-5-0 for the Lions. Senga gets the win. He's 3-1, while Hira gets the loss. He's 3-2. Chunichi Dragons beat the Hiroshima Carp 3-2. 2-9-1 for the Carp. 2-9-1 for the Carp. And we get the Carp. Okay. As I said, Senga gets the win. He's 3-1. Hira gets the loss for the Lions. He's 3-2. Junichi Dragons or the Hiroshima Carp 3-2, 3-8-0 for the Dragons, 2-9-1 for the Carp, Hori for Hiroshima gets the loss. He's 1-1. And Okada gets the win. He's finally broken out of the slump. Okay, the Chunichi Dragons defeated the Hiroshima Carp 3-2, 3-8-0 for the Dragons, 2-9-1 for the Carp. Hori gets the win for the gets the loss. He's 1-1. Okada gets the win. He's 1-2. The Nippon Ham Fighters over the York Buffaloes 5-1, 5-9-0 from the Ham Fighters, 1-8-0 for. Anyway, thank you very much. Nippon Ham Fighters over the York Buffaloes 5-1, 5-9-0 for the Ham Fighters, 1-8-0 for the Buffaloes. The Hanshin Tigers walloped the Yakut Swallow. By the way, your winning pitcher was Uwasawa. He's 1-1. Alberts gets a loss. He's 2-3. Now let's talk about the slaughter heard all the way to the States. The Hanshin Tigers defeated the Yakut Swallows 20-5. 20-18-0 for the Tigers. 5-9-3 for the Tigers as well. And the Unoa for the Swallows gets a loss. That's his second. All right. Let's keep going, and let's hit you up with the South Korea Korean Baseball Organization, the Kawoon Heroes over the Doosan Bears, 6-2, 6-8-0 for the Heroes, 2-9-1 for the Doosan Bears. Anyway, there we go. South Korean action, the Kawoon Heroes over the Doosan Bears, 6-2, 6-8-0 for the Heroes, 2-9-1 for the Bears. Lottie Giants souped up and gnashed some dinos, 11-9, 11-14-1 for the Giants, 9-17-0 for the Dinos. And finally, the LJ Twins just took Wyverns to a culture clash. That's right. Taiwan CPBL second stage. Okay. In the Taiwan CPL second stage, China's truck over. I have no idea. And boy, I'm starting to wonder if I should have just postponed here. Twins over the Wyverns, 24-7, 24-23-0 for Twins, 7-8-0 for the Wyverns. In Taiwan, CPBL second stage, China Trust Brothers over the Rakuten Monkeys, 4-1, 4-10-1 for the brothers of China Trust. And in the minor league section of the CPBL in Taiwan, Fubon Guardians. We're going to have to do this right. The China Trust Brothers sequel, beat up on the Fulton Guardians sequel. It will unlock, please. All right. There you go. Okay, sorry if I'm nodding off, but it has been, as I said, a very long day, and it shows in the sports reporting. Anyway, I'm just going to say a beautiful hello to my friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time. Maybe a bit more coherent. But please enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to go and I don't know what all, but whatever it is, it's going to be a good one. So thanks everybody, and we will see you tomorrow night at 11:10 right here on the L2C Media Network. I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley, and we're done. We are done. And that is going to wrap it up for us. Stand by. Nick Mercada is next. And immediately following that, I was in a little melee mess, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, nothing went on to be the same. So there you go. Let's go wrap it up for us. I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley, feeling tired, feeling exhausted. Oh boy. See you all tomorrow night, 11:10 p.m. Eastern. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network. We'll see you tomorrow with more fish than you can dream of. All right. Okay, good night, everybody.